Welcome back. I hope you already have get your hands dirty testing the software with your own content, so you might already have modeled some quite complex situations. And as I don't like to leave things not finished, we are going to continue modeling the charge that we make in the last lesson. And as we already have some knowledge, I'm just going to go quite straight and fast. I'm going to try. I'm not sure if I will be able, but I'm going to try to be fast modeling. Okay, so maybe also I'm not going to explain everything because we already know quite a lot. So, okay. Now I'm going to model that from here. In order to illustrate how I imagine, I'm gonna make something which is very wrong, which would be to pretend to know where the ground is. But anyway, what I want you to know is how I pretend to model that. Okay, so I'm going to make a kind of triangle, and then I'm going to make this higher point here. So basically it would be like two triangles here, and then these two other triangles here. That would be a very reduced version of this cupola here, but it could work. Of course, and as said before, we cannot pretend to make that like this, so I'm just going to delete. It was just in order to quickly explain how I want to model this part. And of course, we're going to need to follow the first point that is helping us to project the ground, which is not visible from here. So what I see is that this white line is following and arriving until here, and then continuing, and this black line would be a little bit what I'm going to need to project. So from here I make that line, that new point which arrives to the line that I want to know, and then I just duplicate, and that point should be around here. So that makes that our ground, our invisible ground, is around this point. I'm not sure, I'm just dragging from here, not from any other point, but from the ground. I'm looking for the center of that window and making that top point fit on here. Now I could delete those other points. Just let me show you something. When I try to delete the ground or the top point, when there is only two, you cannot delete them. Because a segment of a line, of course, need to have 2 points. Okay, once that's set, we already have our point, so now from here we can duplicate, and we already know that what we have said before, it's now already working. So now, in order to find that point here, I drag from the ground point and make it fit here, and we will make the same on the other side. So we find that here, and we also check that more or less we have them on the same position, so we could just make them fit a little bit more. Now that I have this, I would like to be a bit more accurate and try to make that half point. So we would make, of course, a better shape. Okay, perfect. Now we should find a way in order to project that point and to discover where is this point. So for that, what I see is that I know where this point is, and that point should be at the same height as that, because this is also an arch, so it's not going down, it's just the same level, and for me that would be very easy to know here. Okay, so what we're going to do is to duplicate that line from which we know that that point belongs to that line. We're going to put that in the center, and now we can drag that point until the top. So we could delete these 2 points. Okay. Now, as I will use this line later in order to make that arch, we can just keep it here, and I'm going to duplicate it and drag it on that way until I find the top, which is here. So now we should be ready to model correctly that cupola. That should be like this. If I'm not wrong, this point belongs here, but now we're going to move a little bit. Okay. Okay. Yeah, we are done. So we have already made that shape, which we can easily check out if it works. Yeah, it does works. Okay. Okay, so we said that this line is the one from here. So I could duplicate it. I just put it here again, back in place, and I know that this line should be straight from here. So that point is that other point. Well, yeah, that point is that point here. Okay. Now this one to the other side. Okay, now I can make another triangle here and another one here. But what I wanted to do is not like this, because I wanted to make a bit the shape of that. So I'm going to duplicate it, locate it here, look for the top point, duplicate again, just drag it here. Okay. Okay, and now we could make like a polygon like this. I've been too fast. Okay. Okay, so we have like a charge, an arch, sorry. Now we're going to make the same here by duplicating the big one, which is this one. It should be somewhere around here, but of course in another place. And now I'm just going to duplicate that other one on the same place on the other side, which is also fitting quite well. Okay, this is not for nothing, because I know where the projection of the ground it is from here. So now what we could do is to reproduce that line here, adding a point, projecting it here. Okay, so we can make a kind of arch like we did before. Could also draw those planes yeah. And now I have made a mistake here, because I had to make a couple of them, not only one, in order to follow the correct shape that I want. Okay, so we probably have that. We just check the model and we're going to see what we have. Okay, so yeah, we have it. And Control P for preview. Okay, so we are there. Okay, let's try to make that a bit more simple, a bit more fast. Our ground here, from here it's visible. We just duplicate. This point should be here, and this point should be here. Now, as this is going down, we can make like this. We maybe won't need it. And duplicate here. Now I'm going to make the stairs that I tell you before, that we can just fake them and we can make them very simple, so we don't have to make all the steps. Okay, just make sure, yeah, it's correct. Now I need to close that from here. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do it from here, so we have the real points. Yeah, here we can just simplify it and make it as a ground. Okay, so just relocate that here. Now again, ground is not visible, but we can just make the projection. What we have here, it's another arch which we are going to try to simplify it. Okay, so we have the ground. Now we're going to add one point here. We're going to project that point around here. We're going to make the same on the other side. Let's duplicate that. Let's put it in the middle, more or less. Yeah, we have the window that gives us the middle. Yeah, okay. So here we're going to make a simple plane. We can check that location, so we duplicate that line, and from the red point, which is the ground, we just drag it here, which we can check that it's at the same place as this one. So we could start closing that by making one very big polygon. I don't need to step here, so just go here. I can make we should have that line also around here, so please just duplicate that line, locate it on the ground. That point is that point, which seems to have some kind of issue maybe, but I'm just going to make like this. We're going to add one point here. We're going to close that. Okay, so now we need to locate that point here, which, as far as I can see, it should be at the same line as if I project. I just make a quick triangle in order to duplicate my line. I don't want extra points, so please just go ahead and delete it. What I want is to find that point here, which will be the same as that one here. So now we could duplicate that and try to find the projection. It's around here. We need to duplicate that line. So sorry, because it's that line, so I don't want to have more than one, that line. Okay, so from here we would have that plane that we can make it fit better later on. We can have that other plane, which I will delete because that was making me go in the wrong direction. So we make like this, we make like this, here it was an error. I need to make that part here, and that other part here. Let's check out how it looks like. Okay, it's quite a square, but it makes sense. As you can see, we have the stairs here, not moderate, but they make it work. Okay, so we would need the ground. We would need the ground. Just let me make sure that I do it in the right point. We don't need to step around here as we did before. We have a good triangulation. We could make our ground. Here we have to step because that one starts from here, and we could make a crash if we don't step. We can go until here, until here. We could try to get bigger and check if it works. No, it does not work. It does not work, so I'm sorry, but we need to simplify it. You have seen that once I delete the big polygon, they remain being visible because when I create that, I am also creating the triangles, so if you immediately delete them, they will remain there. Okay, so now we could easily create a big triangle here. Now, yeah, we have it good. So when I make a line here, I can close that ground. And preview. And preview, we have the ground, we have a hole here, so we should take that in care. But yeah, it looks nice. It looks quite nice. Okay, so now you have seen a little bit more complex details. So now I will stop the video because it's taking very long already, and I'm gonna finish that without recording. So the challenge for you would be to finish it using the concepts that we already have learned, how to project, all the points, how to find your way in order to be duplicating the lines and to be finding all the ground positions. Just use the model view in order to check if what you're doing have some sense in 2D. Yeah, you will find your way. You have enough experience right now in order to model things. Here, of course, we have a very easy one, no? We could just take that inker as a single cube. The same here. At that side we would reproduce the same just here, but having it easier because the ground is the same. And yeah, we would almost be finished because here we can simplify it in two big planes, one on that side and one on the other side. So yeah, just go ahead and find your way. Bye bye.